Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, the nourisher, the cherisher, the sustainer, the provider, the protector, the curer, the shaper of beauty, the one who is in absolute control of each and every aspect of existence. So inshallah, we will be continuing with the session which we stopped yesterday, the story of our superhero Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu an. My dear children, if there is any problem with my sound, I'm really sorry, because I'm not a bit of well, because due to throatache and cold. I hope so my sound has not changed much. If there is any problem, I'm really sorry, and if you are facing a lot of problem, you can please inform. Is my sound okay for you guys now? Mujtaba and Aisha Mehroof, only both of you are here. I'm asking to you, dears. Like others, I don't know why they are not here.
Yes, it's no problem.
Okay. Okay, Mujtaba and Aisha Mahroof, who will do the opening, as I told you to recite Surah Al-Fatiha today. Any one of you, come on. There's no one else, only both of you. You can do it. Mujtaba, will you do that?
Can I start?
Okay, start.
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين.
Okay, mashallah. Barakallah feek. So let's back to the session. And do you guys remember what was the last part we told in the last session? Which was that last story we mentioned? Any idea? Okay, did we told about Umar radiallahu anhu, he changed the rule, and regarding the ration which he provided to his people? Anything related to that? Sorry, Mushtaba, I did not got you.
No, not that I remember.
Okay. So, Umar radiallahu anhu, one day when he passed through the city, he heard a cry of a baby from a house. And, we know the character and attitude of Umar radiallahu anhu as a Khalifa. He used not to sleep in night, and, he used to walk and check his people. So one day, in such a situation, when he was doing that, he found a baby crying in a home. So, Umar radiallahu anhu asked the mother why the baby was crying. And he ordered the mother to look after it. So what the mother did was she was not looking after it, and Umar radiallahu anhu repeated the same statement 3 times. So at the third time, the woman replied that I was trying to stop, the breastfeeding for my kid, because in Umar radiallahu anhu's rule, there was no ration for breastfeeding baby. So that was a situation of some people in Arabia at that time. So what did Umar radiallahu anhu did was, at that moment he ran to his house, and he changed the rule and informed the people around him that he has changed the rule, and now onwards there will be ration for each and everyone in this in his country, because that no one will be having to suffer without a food. And that's when that was Umar radiallahu anhu. He took decisions very quickly and very perfectly. Then there was also another incident that we can go through, inshallah. So Umar radiallahu anhu, we know that he was a man with a very fair complexion, but during his khalifa, he used to become so dark and lost his hair after being a khalifa. This was because he was so unhealthy, because he had no sleep by looking his people in the morning and evening and even night, and praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the extreme night. So there was an hadith that which reported that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the Sahabas about a dream which he saw, that when Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in the dream, he was drinking milk, and the milk overflowed from his body, and the milk was passed to Umar radiallahu anhu also, and and it started to overflow from his body also. So the interpretation of this dream is not perfectly mentioned. So it was a dream. That was the relation with Umar radiallahu anhu had with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we don't know the perfect interpretation of the dream, so we are not supposed to talk about it. Okay. Then Umar radiallahu anhu, as I mentioned before, he never let to destroy any worship places. So once when he was to Palestine, and he entered a Christian church to meet a monk there, and when it was the time for prayer, Umar radiallahu anhu wants to leave, but the monk told, you can, oh Umar, you can pray from here. But what Umar radiallahu anhu did was, he told that, oh Umar, oh monk, if I'm praying from here, in future my people, they will fight for the place which fight for the place which I prayed. So that's why I'm not praying from here. That was Umar radiallahu anhu. He was extremely conscious regarding his people, the attitude of his people. He knew his people very well, and he dealt with the problems which they faced at that time. Okay. As I mentioned in last session, Umar radiallahu anhu ruled 35 countries of today. Think of how vast was it. And we know the greatest statement of Umar radiallahu anhu, that he feared that if a god baby, if it dies in any places of the entire peninsula which he ruled, he was feared of that, and he feared of that punishment, and he always used to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for protection from the punishment which he will get as a khalifa. So the power of Umar radiallahu anhu was so much that everyone feared Umar radiallahu anhu. One day when small little girls, they were playing duff near duff. Okay. Duff is actually permitted in Islam. So when they were playing duff near Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu entered, but they did not stop the duff, and they continued by playing that duff. Okay. And what happened was that when Umar radiallahu anhu entered to that place where the girls were playing duff around Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what they did was, they just ran from there. And there was also another incident, that when all wives of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam were around him, and when slowly Umar radiallahu anhu, Zunaira, I did not got your question. Duff, dear, like how to mention duff. Yeah, I would think so. It would be better to show you a picture. معلمة Aisha, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Muallima, can you please search in Google, and our Sheikh Google, and ask him to give us an image of duff, that our Zanera, she can see it.
What? I couldn't get you. Can you
Deaf
repeat it?
dear, okay, then can you stop sharing that? I will share the screen right now.
Okay.
Okay, that would be better. No, my brother is having a deaf. If possible, I will show you that, or otherwise, I will be sharing the screen. 1 minute.